All right, back to it now. Speaker Matt Hall, Michigan Republican, Speaker of the House, joining me now. Matt, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
So we've got a deadline tomorrow, I believe, the K through 12 budget. I'd like to compare the House plan to the Senate plan. It increases funding, your plan does, by another $2,400 a student to a record high of $12,000 a kid. And in some districts, it's $30,000 a kid, like Flint, right? Remarkable amounts of money. I mean, I'm going by historical numbers. I'm assuming that hasn't changed. That's a lot of money, Matt. Why a 25%? It's basically a 20%, 25% increase in money for students. Again, what's up?
Well, what we're seeing is the Democrats, what they're trying to do in the budget is stuff it full of hundreds of earmarks, mostly for for-profit companies. And what the Republicans are trying to do in this upcoming education budget is we're trying to empower the local districts. So essentially, the reforms and changes that I'm trying to make with the House Republicans is for Lansing politicians to stop handpicking hundreds of for-profit companies to get these earmarks, and instead give the money to our local districts, come up with a set of rules to hold them accountable, and then empower our local school boards and local districts to make those decisions. And I'll give you a couple examples.
Please do, because I'm still not understanding.
Yeah, so the like in Lansing, they decide, okay, the lobbyist that provides this testing service is we're going to go with this one, and we're going to force every school district in the state to use this test. So whether that's ACT or SAT, you see them deciding things like this is the algebra tutor company that you can use, school districts, and then they earmark a few $1,000,000 that goes to that company. They have ones that for things like something called Playworks, which is a company that is in charge of advising kids on what to do during recess. They put $2 million in the budget for that. They want to decide which after-school programs are picked over others. One is a boxing ring in Detroit. So what we're saying is, what do these Lansing politicians know about which after-school program local districts should use, or what companies should be advising kids on recess, or which test the local districts should use? We're just basically rolling all that up and giving it to the districts, and then putting some rules in place and ending all of these earmarks that are going on in Lansing.
Yeah, so let me ask you something, Matt, because here's where I am with it. In 2018, the state budget was what, $55 billion, 56 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Today it's $85 billion, or is it more than that now?
Well, it's less than that, but the Democrats are proposing budgets like that. You're correct.
How big was the budget that was signed last year? It's in the mid-80s, wasn't it? 82, 83?
Yeah, I think it's like 82, and they want to grow it to 84, 85 this year.
Right. Well, why can't we just... $12,000 a student seems to me, I'm just looking at this, and I don't disagree with what you're saying about for-profit people and lobbyists for getting this and that and everything else. Happens here, happens in Washington, and the people that really need, the support oftentimes don't get it. But to me, it's like, frankly, how the hell did we add $30 billion to spending, and how can we not trim it back to $75 billion? Or so? State of Pennsylvania does it for $30 billion less, or 40 than we do. And we're adding spending here. I don't understand. A lot of us don't understand, Matt.
So the way our budget works, there's, like the sales tax, which was expanded a couple years ago to include the internet purchases. So when you purchase something on the internet, you automatically are collected sales tax on that.
Uh-huh.
A good percentage of that is constitutionally earmarked for the school budget. And what's happening, I guess, as you're doing the state budget, is the school budget is exploding, and the rest of the budget is um, is not gaining revenue nearly as quickly as the school budget.
Why?
So then, so then what happens is you've got this big pot of money for schools, and then the legislature and the governor, we decide how to spend that money. So the argument going on right now is, do you put that money directly into the districts, or do you siphon off millions and millions of dollars and give it to earmarks for for-profit companies? And I guess what we're saying is what Lansing has been doing for the last, say, 10 years isn't working. And we're trying to eliminate a lot of these pork projects and earmarks in the budget and try to empower our local districts more, because all these things the Lansing politicians are doing is not working.
Yeah,
And
well,
and the
that's true.
interesting thing, there's a ballot initiative you probably saw, to create a graduated income tax in Michigan that the Democrats are pushing, where they're going to do this surcharge on the wealthiest people in Michigan, and they want to dedicate all the money they get from that to education too. So that'll
Well,
be a very
let's to be
interesting
honest about
ballot.
that's to appease unions. It's not for the kids. Look, I'm old enough to remember, Matt, when they told us that the lottery was going to pay for education in Michigan. The lottery was going to be the money, and then we don't have to go after the people. We can lower taxes here and there and everywhere. The state of Michigan is, according to a couple of websites right here, $44 billion in debt is the state of Michigan, and growing every day. Just like the federal government, $44 billion and growing. What are we ever going to do anything about that, or just, I mean, and I'm not blaming you, Matt, don't get me wrong, but as we sit here, we watch, raise taxes on this, spend more on that, while Tennessee and Texas and Florida are prospering and New Hampshire gets rid of income tax, we just pay more and more and more, and what do I get out of it? Does business want to come here? I don't think so. Why would they? And I realize it's not your side of the aisle mostly, but I mean, I still see more spending and more everything. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, so you're going to see even more money potentially pouring into education, which is going to put more emphasis on how the legislature spends
Because
it.
our test scores are doing so well. Michigan's doing so well in education. We're spending more because it's working so well, right?
Well, I think that people are trying to throw more money at it for that reason, rather than put the accountability in there. That's what you're seeing. The House Republicans were committed to getting more value for your tax dollars. That's why we've been fighting so hard on this state budget to not do things like it's always been done, where they just tack 3% on the top of what they did last year. So as the budget put down,
yeah.
you'll see that.
It's always adding. Anyhow. And I'm not blaming you, Matt. I don't mean to come down on you, but I mean, a lot of we just get frustrated. We feel like we pay more and more for less and less. A lot of people feel that way. Anyway, I'm out of time. Matt Hall, greatly appreciate you being here, Matt. Don't hold it against me. I'm just asking for the folks. Thank you.
Thank you.